Hey everyone, Dr. Chem here. Welcome to this cinematic explainer. Today, we're stepping into the laboratory to embark on a really thrilling detective story of molecular discovery. We're going to learn exactly how to unmask the true identities of chemical compounds. You see, in the early days of chemistry, and honestly, even in modern labs today, we often only start with the raw percentages of elements in an unknown sample. But how do we get from a messy pile of percentages to the exact real-world molecule? Well, that's exactly the mystery we're solving today. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the formula mystery. Then, decoding empirical formulas. Next up, the multiplier effect, followed by real-world chemical puzzles, and finally, the final chemical code. Okay, let's dive right into section 1, the formula mystery, the blueprint versus the building. Every great mystery starts with a case of mistaken identity, right? Or at least an incomplete profile. In chemistry, this is the classic conflict between a basic blueprint and the actual building. Imagine I tell you we've got a compound made of hydrogen and oxygen in a perfect 1-to-1 ratio, HO. Sure, that gives you the basic proportions, but it totally leaves out what the actual physical molecule looks like when it's floating around in a beaker. The reality is that the actual molecule is hydrogen peroxide, which is H2O2. So HO is just the simplest ratio, while H2O2 is the actual chemical reality. So let's nail down what this actually means. An empirical formula gives us the relative ratios of different atoms in a compound. It's literally the lowest, most reduced whole number ratio of elements. Think of it as our foundational clue. When chemists first analyze a substance, like, say, by burning it in a combustion analyzer, they get the relative amounts of each element. The empirical formula gives us these exact proportions, but it kind of leaves us hanging, you know? It doesn't give us the final, complete structure. And that brings us to our ultimate prize, the molecular formula. This is the chemical formula that gives the exact, absolute number of atoms of each element present in a single, intact molecule. If the empirical formula is just the scale model, the molecular formula is the full-sized, completed skyscraper. This is the true identity we are trying to uncover in our chemical detective work today. Section 2. Decoding empirical formulas, cracking the chemical blueprint. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what raw elemental data actually looks like straight out of a laboratory analysis. Take our prime suspect for today, vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid. Elemental analysis tells us it's made up of 40.92% carbon, 4.58% hydrogen, and 54.50% oxygen by mass. But here's the catch. Percentages aren't a chemical formula. We absolutely cannot write a molecule as carbon 40.92, hydrogen 4.58. We have to convert this into a ratio of atoms. To pull that off, we use a classic, 4-step code-breaking rhyme. Honestly, every chemistry student should have this echoing in their minds. Ready? 1. Percent to mass. 2. Mass to mole. 3. Divide by small. 4. Multiply till whole. This magical little poem is exactly how we transform those messy percentages into a clean, simple, empirical formula. All right, let's actually run the numbers on our vitamin C suspect. Step 1, percent to mass. We just assume we have a 100-gram sample, which instantly and conveniently turns our percentages right into grams. So 40.92 grams of carbon, 4.58 grams of hydrogen, and 54.50 grams of oxygen. Step 2, mass to mole. We divide each mass by its atomic weight from the periodic table. That gives us roughly 3.4 moles of carbon, 4.5 moles of hydrogen, and 3.4 moles of oxygen. Now for step 3, divide by small. We divide all those mole numbers by the smallest one of the bunch, which is 3.406. This normalizes the ratio, giving us carbon 1, hydrogen 1.33, and oxygen 1. But wait a second, we can't have a third of a hydrogen atom in a formula. That's impossible. So that brings us to step 4, multiply till whole. Since 1.33 is essentially 1 1/3, we just multiply everything by 3. The result, carbon 3, hydrogen 4, oxygen 3, C3H4O3. Boom, we have cracked the empirical blueprint. Moving on to section 3, the multiplier effect, unmasking the true identity. So here is the absolutely crucial point. We have our blueprint, C3H4O3, but the actual molecular formula will always be an integer multiple of that empirical formula. It could be a multiple of 1, meaning the empirical and molecular formulas are exactly the same, or it could be a multiple of 2, 3, 4, you name it. The real molecule is just a perfectly scaled up version of our empirical clue.
This brilliantly illustrates how we actually find that integer multiple. We just take the actual formula mass of the entire molecule, which scientists can figure out in the lab using tools like a mass spectrometer, and we divide it by the mass of our empirical formula. That gives us our magical multiplier, which we'll call x. Once we have x, we simply multiply the subscripts in our empirical formula by this number, and we're golden.
Section 4, Real-World Chemical Puzzles, the ascorbic acid case.
Let's bring back our prime suspect, vitamin C, and crack this case wide open. Let's compare the numbers. We previously deduced that the empirical formula for vitamin C is C3H4O3. If we add up the atomic weights of 3 carbons, 4 hydrogens, and 3 oxygens, we get an empirical mass of 88.06 atomic mass units, or AMU. But the lab tells us that the actual experimentally determined molecular mass of real vitamin C is 176 AMU. Look at the stark difference between those two numbers. Try to calculate the multiplier in your head right now. How many times does 88 go into 176?
It's exactly 2. No way around it. The actual molecular mass is precisely twice as large as the empirical mass. This proves that our real vitamin C molecule is exactly twice as large as its simplified empirical blueprint.
So we just take that multiplier of 2 and we distribute it right across our empirical formula. 2 times C3H4O3 gives us C6H8O6. We've successfully unmasked vitamin C. Ascorbic acid is not C3H4O3. That was just the ratio. The actual physical molecule floating around in your morning orange juice contains exactly 6 carbon atoms, 8 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. Case closed. And you know, this same code-breaking technique works across all of chemistry. For instance, take naphthalene. That's the active ingredient in mothballs. If you run combustion analysis on naphthalene, you get an empirical formula of C5H4. The mass of C5H4 is about 64 AMU. But mass spectrometry shows the actual molecule has a mass of about 128 AMU. Well, 128 divided by 64 gives us a multiplier of 2. Multiply C5H4 by 2 and you unmask the true molecule, C10H8. It's just incredibly satisfying how perfectly the math lines up with the physical reality of the atoms, isn't it? Finally, Section 5, the final chemical code, the language of the universe. So what does this all mean? Why does all this math and mole converting actually matter? Because fundamentally, the chemical identity of a substance is defined strictly by the types and relative numbers of atoms composing its fundamental entities. If you change a subscript, you don't just change a number on a page. You literally change the fundamental properties of the universe. I mean, H2O is water, essential for life. But H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide, which will bleach your hair and destroy cells. The math we did today is the strict language that dictates exactly how the physical universe operates. Which leaves us with this final thought. If molecular formulas are the actual physical buildings of our world, constructed from these empirical blueprints, how many more chemical mysteries are just waiting to be decoded? Look around you. Everything you can see, touch, and breathe is built on these exact integer-scaled ratios. It's like a giant puzzle. So stay curious, keep analyzing, and I highly encourage you to keep unmasking the chemical secrets hidden in plain sight. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.